The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am.
So we're great. I want to say hi to our guest. Krista Piero has checked in.
You're live.
Yep, thank you, Jimmy. Krista Piero has checked in. This is, okay, let me just do the call for the station. This is Maria from What's the Story with Maria. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. We meet here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we started rolling on Facebook already, so we didn't miss very much, radio listeners. Just that we want to tell you, it's April 7th, 2020. 2020 will go down in history as a very strange, almost like a sci-fi year, right? We'll talk about a little bit about that. Joe Savino has joined us. That's the big guns over at Armed Radio. He has a great show called Night Talk with Joe Rocks, and Jimmy's often on that show as well. It's Thursday night at 10. So if you want to check out that show as well, please do. There's a lot of shenanigans going on over there. A lot of shenanigans. So, John De Palma has checked on. Hello, my love. So glad to see you as well. John De Palma is my friend. He's an incredible singer. He's out in New Jersey. And he put out my favorite album this year called Something Shiny, which I love. I play quite often in my apartment. So, okay, we got a bunch of our friends are on right now. And we want to welcome you on. So let me tell you what's happening tonight. The name of our show, I'm calling it Living in the Solution. Which is one of my favorite phrases anyway. I always feel like, and I've heard this before, but I kind of, it's a mantra of my life. I feel like you either live in the problem or you live in the solution. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And nothing brings that out like something as scary as what's happening in the world right now. So, if you know, I don't want to, I feel like the show should be a distraction, so I don't want to spend too much time on the negative, but the reality of it is we're all living in a different world right now, a very different world. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm used to, all my jobs are social. I'm used to being out there with people. That's when I'm happiest. I'm a musician and a bartender and a teacher and I drive an Uber, like all these things that involve other people, right? So I've really been challenged quite a bit. My friend Lynn just popped on. Hi, Linny. So Lynn has been doing amazing things, and I'm going to talk about that towards the end of our show because I have Kathy calling in soon. But so with all these things that have changed now, we've had to really adjust in a big way, like it or not. And some people, you know, maybe aren't adjusting as well as others, and some people are freaking out on different days. I know I am. Some days I'm great and I'm just rolling along, and other days I'm really like, what the hell is going on? And literally, I feel like I can't breathe. You know, it's like my breath is taken away from the fear. But I have been really inspired by a couple of people, and they're people that are calling in tonight. One of them is she's my supervisor and my boss at the Male Performing Arts Center in Morristown, New Jersey. It's called MPAC. Those are the letters for short. And we've been teaching online. We've been doing our classes online. So that's why I want to have her call in and talk about some of the great things that are happening in spite of all of this. Lenny says, I love you. I love you too. Oh, there's Kathy now. Right on time. Of course she is. I love it. Hi, Kathy. Can you hear me?
Hey, Maria. I can. Can you hear me?
I can. And that's a perfect level for your voice. Great. Keep it that way. Like,
great.
okay, because sometimes, because it has to go through 2 microphones, and this is great. So, Kathy, first of all, thank you so much for calling in. I'm so happy that you did.
Oh, my goodness. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and I was just telling, I got to start to tell everybody, and I want to continue what I was telling them, that Kathy is my boss at the Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown, New Jersey, which is a theater and has a performing arts school attached to it. And I was just telling everyone how this has been just a very, very unusual time. And the reason I wanted to have you on is because I've named the show, this episode, Living in the Solution. And
I love that.
Yep, and given what our circumstances, I feel like that's what we're doing. So if you would be so kind as to tell everybody kind of like what you do or what your job was and kind of what your job is now because of everything that's kind of turned upside down. So just
Sure.
go ahead.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm the education director at the Mayo Performing Arts Center, and a big part of my job is overseeing our performing arts school, where we have about 280 students who come every week for performing arts school classes. We have 25 classes a week and private lessons and coaching. And we were just about to have our first rehearsal for a main stage production of Newsies that we were putting on. So, and then all of a sudden, who would have thought, like 3.5 weeks ago, that we would ever be in this position?
Right.
But basically, our kids, we have classes from age 5 up through adult, and we were really right in the middle of our 14-week semester, and the kids were really invested in their musical theater, their singing, their acting classes, really, working midway on their scripts and their songs and getting ready for their performances. And, a big part of it is, the socialization of it, being around their other kids, all the skills that they're learning, building their self-esteem, having a place to go every week where they can really express themselves and be a part of something exciting, like performing. So all of a sudden, we had 2 weeks delayed classes, and then it was like, we're not going to be able to finish the semester as we knew it. But
Right.
We knew at the moment that we couldn't just, end it. We had to go with Plan B, and we really had to think up Plan B. Who knew that, there ever would be a Plan B in this situation? But, we've really gone into launching all of our classes, like distance learning and Zoom classes, and the teachers have been amazing. We've been working with our core team of 12 teachers who have really been like superheroes in this situation, and I think the kids are going to end up getting even more than they would out of having been there for the semester.
Yep.
The time, the coaching, the care that everybody is really putting into making sure that they get to experience it. And really, honestly, Maria, at this point, it's way beyond just the theater skills that they're learning. It's just that we couldn't take this away from them right now. Their lives are so interrupted, and
Yep.
It's a scary time, and I think kids are feeling a lot of anxiety. So to really still be able to give them the opportunity to come together and for that time kind of forget about what's going on and to be able to sing. I mean, what's better than singing your
I
troubles
know.
away or your anxiety away, right? And
Yep, you're absolutely right. And I everything that you said is absolutely true. You kind of like mapped it out almost. Like our first the first thing we did was, okay, we know something is going on and we have to deal with it. And then the second thing that happens is fear, I think, and then disappointment. But I got to tell you, Kathy, I mean, I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't just snapped in as you always do. I mean, it's kind of like what you're famous for. Like, okay, you know what? And I remember having a conversation with Darius, and he said, Kathy's going to figure this out. Like, she figures everything out. And it's true. And then the next thing you know, we were all the teachers were on a Zoom meeting, and we were going from there, and then we were organizing individually and together as teams, and then we were sharing information with the other teachers. And I got to tell you, I was really scared, but once we started coming together, I felt like all this hope.
Yeah. I mean, it's thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you. But it's really easy, when you have such a great team to work with, and you become so empowered by the people around you, and that's been so helpful. And I think the theater, we're also committed to our teachers.
Yeah.
It's a big part of their lives and their jobs, and there was no way that we were just going to turn around and say, I'm sorry, you're unemployed as far as our performing arts school for the rest of the semester. So it's really been a win-win situation all around to be able to keep our teaching artists employed, and to really be able to keep our kids engaged and be a part of their lives. So it's actually been, as you know, it's been a lot of work, but it's been so rewarding. And I think we're all going to come out of this as better teachers, better communicators, and like a really tight team. I think we've all already, I've grown up saying, why haven't we done Zoom meetings every week all along? Like, why haven't we done this where we're really all touching base all the time? We all teach our separate classes, but I think the camaraderie has really been amazing. So
yeah,
thank you and the whole team for that.
Oh no, but absolutely. It's really, I agree with you with the Zoom. I mean, I always love it when we have meetings anyway, where there's it's a bunch of us, or when we have Christmas parties, or whenever we get together with the other teachers. I'm I feel like a kid, because it's a performing arts school. Everybody just brings all this energy and light to it anyway, and then it's really nice to exchange ideas with the other teachers and with you, and it just gives you all this new energy. And so that's been really great. That part of it's been great. And, last week was our first, my first class with the kids on a little Zoom class with three different classes, one after another. And I was just blown away by how happy they were to see us. You know?
Oh, definitely.
And I feel like you're right. Like you can't just abandon them, if they need it as much as, but we need it too. Like as teachers, we need that connection,
Absolutely.
And I think
we actually had tonight our first, so we have, our Miracle Project program is a theater program, for kids and young adults on the autism spectrum and with other special needs. And, we knew it might be a little bit more difficult to keep the class going because really the whole focus on that class is the socialization. But we wanted, so we're going to be crediting them for the semester, but we definitely were offering this virtual opportunity as well.
Right.
So we put it out there that, Darius and John and I recorded a whole class for them and sent it to them so they could do it every day because they really thrive on the schedule and the predictability of it. And, I think it's hard. It's hard for all kids to understand this, right?
Right.
So we put it out there, to also have Zoom classes with them every week. So a few of them were in the class tonight, and it was amazing. They did great, and they were so happy to see the other. We use peer mentors in the program, which are just kids from our performing arts school who serve as peer mentors in the class, and they came into the Zoom meeting as well, and they all sang together. We each one went around and they were talking about what they've been doing, and it was just great. They looked so happy, and their parents, sent me a lot of feedback when I sent the invitation to them. And, oh my gosh, they're so excited. They were really looking forward to it, and it really, this made their day that they were going to be able to see their friends again and continue this. So it's just, it was really heartwarming.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's beautiful. I mean, it's great for the parents as well. It's good. And another thing that I it's kind of like an accidental luxury that happened. Darius and I were running our classes, and some of the parents were popping in because they were either helping with tech stuff, or they were just popping their heads in, or they were sitting on the side of the same table. And I realized that it gives the parents a chance as well to see what we do,
Absolutely.
Kind of like an audit, but without just it's like this open-hearted audit, where they're just part of it, or they're just there in the other room, or a dad would pop in or a mom would pop in, and it would just make it fun. And like some of the kids were showing off their pets. It was so cute,
That is so cute, and the parents just absolutely love hearing them sing in the class.
Yeah.
And in their house, So, I mean, how great is that?
And they get to hear them. And it's a difficult times for everybody. So.
Yeah. I'm so happy we're going to be able to continue it, too, because I think, it was great when we decided that we're going to, we'll fill this in, we'll supplement for the 2 weeks that we have to be off. But I think now we're all hitting that point where it's really starting to affect us, the being home so much. And, it was okay when we thought it was a sort of a semi-temporary thing for a couple of weeks, but now, that we're not really sure about when we're going to go back to a somewhat normal life, I think it's even more important that we have this regular structure now for them for the rest of the semester. Yeah,
I know. And I thank you for just being that, the captain of the ship and making sure that we all came together and we continue to do the great work that we're doing. And it's just, so much changed. Like you said, you were just about to get ready for for Newsies, and that changed, and I'm sure that had to be a huge disappointment for you.
Well, it's more that I hate disappointing the kids and the cast, it's just I was so excited that week before, 2 weeks before, to be able to make phone calls to kids to tell them that they've gotten roles, and they were so excited and so invested in it. And, who would have thought, like you said, that this would ever happen?
I know.
But, there'll be the right time for that. Even if let's just say we could have it's just not appropriate to push for that now.
Right,
There's
absolutely.
other things that we all need to really focus on. So there'll be the right time for that, though.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And if they want to go to if people want to go to the website, how do they find our school?
So all of the classes, the Mayo Performing Arts Center website is www.mayoarts.org, MAYOarts.org, and then you could just click the link for education.
Okay.
And all of our programs are under there. We have a bunch of school residency programs as well that we're going to be continuing on virtually. So that's exciting. We just kind of found that out over the last few days.
That's wonderful.
Working with some of the classroom teachers. Yeah, so... And Maria, thank you. Thank you for being such an amazing part of the team. I think if the kids hadn't had that bond and had such a great experience all along with all these teachers, we wouldn't be in this position now where we're playing such a pivotal role in their lives. They look up to you guys, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I love doing it. And the caliber of teachers is so amazing. I mean, just love...
It's this amazing team, yeah.
I really, really love it's an amazing team. So thank you, Cathy, and I really, tonight I wanted to it's been a really hard couple of weeks, and I wanted to focus on solutions and some of the good that is coming out of this, and how we are still connecting with people and children and adults, and still doing good things in the world out there, so...
I think I agree, and thank you for doing this tonight. I think it's so important that we all keep putting our positive energy out there, like you say.
Absolutely, and happy birthday to your daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I know poor Emma had a birthday during this time, but you know what? I guess you'll never forget it, right?
No, she loved it. She actually sent me a text.
Really?
Later that night, just saying, thank you for giving me the best birthday ever.
Oh, my God.
That was so sweet. She loved it. We just all had a great day together.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, for taking the time, Cathy.
Thank you so much. I hope you and hope all your audience, everybody stay well, and wishing you all peace and love.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay. Yes. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Cathy.
Bye.
Okay, so that is Cathy Roy-spies. She's amazing. Now, I got to tell you, she's just one of these bosses that you can't, you just never want to let someone like that down, because they work so hard. And even on your worst day, you're like, you know what? She can do it, I can do it, because she's balancing a million things. So I wanted to say thank you to Kathy, because just best boss I ever had. Amazing. Now, something is happening with the Facebook, but I think that we are still on, because this happened last week. So what is happening for me on my end of it is I'm seeing a recording of this show a few minutes back. So can you guys still see me? Can you just somebody text in there if you can still see me, if we're still going live? I believe we are, because it's saying we're still going live. So I'm going to keep rolling, because last week we ended for some reason, and I think that I don't know, it's the new format, so I'm not going to panic. Okay, so now let me see what time it is. It is 9:26. In about 4 minutes, my friends, yeah, okay, so I think that's you guys saying that it's still going, right? Yes, you are on. Okay, thank you, Mandar. So I'm seeing myself in lapsed time, so I'm seeing what happened a few minutes ago. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't need to see myself. I'm just going to keep rolling. All right. So the reason I had Kathy call is because, and I call the show Living in the Solution, is because we have to, bad things are going to happen. Hard things are going to happen. And we have to keep going. Okay. Oh, this is Leo. Okay. What's up, Leo?
Hey, we see you. You're fine. Keep going.
Okay, thanks, honey. Yeah, if for some reason I clicked on something and it brought me back to like a couple of minutes ago. So that's okay. As long as I'm going to keep rolling today.
Keep rolling. You're fine.
Okay.
Love you,
I love you too. That's Leo Rodriguez, and he is in Portland, Oregon. And a big, huge shout out to Oregon, because Oregon is one of the states that sent us ventilators to New York City. And, years from now, we're going to look back at this show and say, what the hell was she talking about? But what she was talking about, what Maria is talking about, is that there's this crazy thing happening in the United States, and this COVID-19 virus, and it's hit a lot of states. And right now, New York City is the epicenter of the United States, and the United States has the most cases. So we're like the center of it. And that's the bad news. The good news is that people are just helping out like I have never seen in my life. I was here during 9/11. I actually lived 10 blocks from the Twin Towers at the time. Now I live way uptown, but and I saw some very sad things happen then, and very amazing things happen, like a domino effect of people coming together and helping each other out. And it's the same thing is happening now. It's just like amazing. New York is just such an amazing place. And yet it's not just New York. It's like this is happening to the whole country. Like New Jersey is right across the river, the bridges, the tunnels. That's what that whole thing is coming from. And huge shout out to Governor Andrew Cuomo. Huge shout out. Man, that guy is just amazing. And a huge shout out to Phil Murphy, Governor Phil Murphy in New Jersey. He's an amazing guy. And I love watching their news briefings, because I really feel like I get a lot of information, and not just information, but there's a lot of compassion in both of these men, Andrew Cuomo and Phil Murphy, both governors of New York and New Jersey. And I've also seen the governor of Louisiana. She's amazing. The governor of Michigan. She's amazing. The governor of Washington, amazing guy. The good thing that's happening from Washington is now that they have managed. I'm not a medical professional and I'm not a statistics person. I'm just repeating what I've heard on television. But they have hit this mark, and Washington is starting to level it out. It's like, and this is thanks to all the good work of these great people, and what they're doing. Oh, great. So my next guest is calling in. Okay. Barbara, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So keep your voice at this level, and I'm just going to tell everybody, this is my great, great, great friend, Barbara Cavallo. she's calling in, and also Lois Abramchik is on the same line. So you guys can both talk together, or you can one at a time get on, or whatever you guys want. So Barbara Cavallo and Lois Abramchik, they are both therapists. They work with all different age levels, right, Barbara?
Yes. Ages 5 on upwards.
5 upwards. Okay, just bring your voice up a tiny bit because I have 2 microphones that have to be able to get this. So I was just telling people that one of the reasons that I asked you to be on is because I wanted this show to be called Living in the Solution. And, we don't have to tell everybody again that it's a crazy time. People are incredibly stressed out and full of fear. And the other day, maybe it was, the day before yesterday, my phone rang out of the blue, and it was you. And I was like, Barbara, wow, that's so weird. Like, it's almost like I wanted to say, how did you know that I needed to talk to you? And in a 5-minute conversation, we were just checking to see how I was. And in a 5-minute conversation, I felt completely heard. I felt better, and I felt like I was in my body again. It was a great sensation. I felt like I literally re-entered my body again. And so I just wanted to thank you for that so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And you said, Maria, you can call me anytime. And I really, really appreciated that. And then I thought, wait, you know what? There's a lot of people out there right now, more than not, that are full of the same exact emotions that I'm feeling. And I wanted to give people a resource. Are you and Lois doing like phone sessions or Zoom sessions or anything like that right now?
Yes. We are doing whatever works for people, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, phone.
Okay, and this is Lois I'm talking to now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know your voices. I've known these wonderful ladies for about 30 years, and they're amazing friends of mine, and they are, I would put you and Kathy, who just called in, who's my boss from Warsaw, I put all 3 of you in my mentor category. You're definitely mentors. And, I still quote you things that you've told me over the years that have really helped. So, okay, it doesn't matter who's answering, but so you are, if people want to get a hold of you, is there a website or is there an email that we can post on the site?
Sure. You could get us through Psychology Today. You could look that up on the internet and just put my name down, Barbara Cavallo.
Okay, I'm going to spell that because maybe I can get Leo, one of the people, to post it right now. So I would imagine it's psychologytoday.com or .org.
Yeah.
And then .com. And then you're going to look up Barbara, Barbara. Last name is Cavallo, C as in Charlie, Avallo. And she is a licensed therapist. And so you can go directly to that page. Even if it's not posted now, we will post it after the show and make sure that everybody can find that link. And so, it's weird because I'm sure people are having different reactions to the same thing. But what would you say is the most common reaction that people are experiencing right now?
Well, I think they're experiencing a lot of stress and anxiety over this challenging time. And they're feeling a sense of being out of control.
Right. You just took the words out of my mouth, right.
I think if I was going to say anything to anybody, I would say, you're not alone. You're not alone. And that there's some things that are not in your control or out of control as a collective. But the good news is that there are some things that are in our control and that we can do with our lives during this challenging time to put some control back in our life.
Yep, absolutely. And, when I talked about feeling like I literally talked to you for 5 minutes and I said, wow, I didn't, when I said I was back in my body, I didn't realize until I spoke to you that I wasn't in my body. And can you explain to people what that means? Like what a sensation like that would mean, like maybe in a time of stress? What do you think happens to people?
Yeah, this is Lois now. Yeah, I think that when we're in overload of stress and we're all feeling like universal stress and universal grief, because it's happening all over the world, and since we're all connected, we're picking up on everybody's sense of stress and grief and
Right.
anxiety. So it becomes like an overload, and we kind of have to check out.
Yeah.
Unless we're getting the support we need. And that's what you're describing when you say Barbara called you and you had 5 minutes off, and that was about getting support. And I think, during this time, I tell all my clients, at the end of every session, the most important thing right now is self-care and
Self-care.
self-love in order to feel supported. And you can do that in many ways, and Barbara and I want to describe some of the ways that people can do that for themselves while they are home.
Right.
Is that good? Is that okay, Maria?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm trying to because people that have worked in social work, or if you've worked in a school, we're kind of schooled on this kind of stuff. But I think, I didn't know a lot of the terminology. I also didn't know a lot of what was happening to me before I started talking to people like you and Lois. And over the years, a lot of our friends have, gone to you and Lois, and received a tremendous amount of help. And I can't say enough. And look, guys and girls, I have been around a long time. I've been in the city for 30 years. I've worked in the arts, which is not one of those careers that, it's not a stable life. It's a fly by the seat of your pants life, but I've also, I've taught, I've done a lot of different things. And what I can tell you is that everyone that has met Barbara and Lois has come out of it on the other end so much more and empowered and kinder to themselves and to others, And I think that's really important to remember, because I love what Lois said just now about it's because I hadn't thought of that either. It's like you think you know everything about yourself, and then you or Lois will say something and I'll think, oh, I hadn't even thought of that. But you're right. We're experiencing everyone's sadness. It's not just this is happening to me or my family or my colleagues. This is happening to everyone. So we are picking up on each other's sadness. You're right about that.
So we each, I'm sorry, Lisa. We each need to take care of ourselves, then we'll become more like a universal feeling flowing outward, which is about, being more compassionate and loving and supportive. And all of that starts with oneself. Then we can get to us. Right.
Well, there's this wonderful saying, or this story, that I've heard a friend of mine tell that says, when you're on a plane, if the plane is starting to have problems, even if you have a child with you, they say, make sure you put the mask on yourself first and then put the mask on your child. Because if you're not able to breathe and help yourself, you cannot help your child or the person beside you. And that analogy always stayed in my head, and it's kind of what you're saying, Lois, right?
Right, exactly. So we wanted to go over a few things that people can do while they have extra time being in their house quarantine.
That's perfect. Okay, go for it. Wonderful.
Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about that's very concrete is to develop a routine for yourself. Now, we're, as human beings, used to routines. Before this pandemic, we had a routine. We woke up at a certain time, we went to work, we had our entertainment. Now we have to create that in our own home. So I am talking to the people I see and talking to them about how to develop a schedule for themselves.
Right.
And to build in for themselves what time they wake up. Make sure they build in 3 healthy meals.
Wow.
Time to do work, exercise, entertainment, socialization, and bedtime. And to have that done for 7 days a week. Because that helps you get into a rhythm and a pattern where your body can relax.
Wow. Great. That's great advice, because I know one of the things that I have been feeling, and a lot of my friends have been feeling, is that they're having a hard time sleeping because their body clocks are off, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And we don't exercise as much. And I have somebody who said, "Well, I don't have any exercise equipment." I said, "Well, do you live in a walk-up?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how about walking up and down the 3 flights of steps?"
Right.
See how? So these are the creative ways in which we have to think about exercise and entertainment. And the other thing is, I say this is a time where you can take pause in your life. And we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, that was really important.
Like this is like no other time. Like we always all say to ourselves, if I only had time, I would, do this, or I think about this. Well, now's the time to take pause and think about your life,
Right.
your career, your relationships, and your spiritual life.
Yeah.
And it's a real fun to reevaluate. I tell everybody, reevaluate, research, reinvent yourself. So when this is over, and it's going to be over, that you are stronger and able to handle life in a more productive and holistic way.
Wow. Very, very, very powerful advice. That's true, because, it's so funny. I'm always complaining that I don't have time to write songs or whatever. And that's like one of the first things I did. Lynn and I wrote a song already, and I cleaned out like my kitchen cabinets and my refrigerator. And I got rid of a bunch of things I didn't need just because I was so stir crazy. And you're right. It's not a bad time to do all those things.
Yeah. The other thing is you want to also take care of your physical body, because stress lives in our physical body and affects our physical body and our health.
Okay.
So it's really vital during this time to take care of yourself through stretching, doing something to relax, whether it be deep breathing or meditating or listening to an app that guides you through some meditating, eating healthy, avoiding like excess drugs and alcohol, which their reporting is up 55%.
I can imagine. I can imagine that all that stuff is up.
Yeah, so they're saying 55% increase in alcohol, which is really high. So we don't want to come out of this and have, an alcohol problem. So now is the time, like, not to, avoid one's feelings by, using food, drugs, or drinking. Really, it's about being healthy and taking care of yourself in every way, body, mind, spirit. And we also don't want people to relapse during the stressful times.
Right.
There are meetings online now. You can go to meetings online. You can call your sponsor. Get a sponsor. These are critical times for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the other part of this, I think, is, there's a couple of other parts, but what comes to mind right now is once you take care of yourself, and the other part is you have to stay connected to other people. You can't just stay in your home and be totally isolated, because then our minds wander, and they often wander to negative things.
Wow.
So it's important to, reach out to friends, reach out to family, FaceTime with them, have schedules where you meet up. I have a book club that we now switch to meeting online.
Wow.
Movie nights with friends. I have people who are cooking together and eating together over Zoom.
Really? That's wonderful.
Yeah. And then you can also be creative with the holidays, because sometimes at the holidays we can get depressed, especially times like this.
Yes.
So we're doing virtual Easter, and we're also doing a virtual Seder.
Wow.
And we have a small church community who does a virtual coffee hour every Sunday. So these are the ways in which your houses of worship and the holidays that you celebrate, you can bring people together that way. Yeah.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, so you never have to, we are social beings, and it's important that we stay connected. The other thing is, I want to stress very strongly, avoid watching and reading the news.
Right.
That will upset you. They repeatedly say the thing over and over and over again, and it just is very upsetting and will stimulate stress, and you're not going to learn anything new.
Right.
Tune in for 5 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, or like you said, listen to Governor Cuomo, who's very positive and
Right.
optimistic, reality-based, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what you were talking about staying on a schedule as well. Like Andrew Cuomo comes on every morning at 11. And
Right.
so that is a good time to set and say, okay, that's when I will watch it. You know, because I am a news junkie, so I'm a kind of person that will watch the news all day long. And,
Right.
you know, I mean, just in the last 3 years, and we don't even have to go into that, but my blood pressure has gone up quite a bit. And not as a joke, but as a reality. And I know a lot of it has to do with me watching the news. So I'm really, really trying to work on limiting my time, although I'm very drawn to it. It's almost like an addiction in itself, you know?
Yeah. Well, they set it up so that you keep watching it, so it's, you get pulled in. But at this point, it's just going to increase stress.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I really like the idea of connecting with other people out there. You know, I think that's really, really positive. Oh, okay. I want to tell you, ladies, that Leo, my friend Leo, who's our accidental assistant, he has posted the link, the psychologytoday.com / So, Barbara, you're right up there now. So people can very easily find you and Lois. So they're located in Brooklyn, of course, but right now we can't go anywhere. So, once all this is over, and as you heard the ladies say, it will be over, then if you want to go and have office visits, you can go to Brooklyn and see Lois or Barbara. But in the meantime, you Skype, Zoom, whatever works, and they will connect with you. These are the times to connect with a therapist. These are very, very trying times, and we need to stay grounded. I mean, trust me, it works for me. And I love what you said about meditation. I'm also going to post a meditation up there that I really enjoy very much. That works for me. That was done by a friend of mine that focuses on addiction, but you don't have to be an addict to listen to this meditation. It's for everybody. So I want to thank both of you so very much.
Juliet, can I just say 2 things?
Sure.
Those people who, let's say, can't afford therapy, they can call NYC Well at 1-888-692-9355, and they can have somebody to talk to.
Okay.
And that's at no fee. And the other thing I want to say, because many people right now are unemployed, nobody should go hungry. That you can text food to 877-877, and you can get 3 meals, grab and go. If you text that number, they'll ask you your area code, and you can get food. And there shouldn't be, I don't want anybody feeling like they're not deserving. Everybody works hard. It's not their fault if they're not working at this point. I don't want anybody to go hungry.
Wow, that's really amazing information. Thank you so much. And it is important that we all know, because, there's a lot of us out there that are not used to asking for help. You know,
Right.
we're used to working and making our money and paying our bills and helping someone else if we can. And it's been a very strange time of being in that position. So thank you for that information. That's amazing. And again, what was that number to text for the first one if you want to talk to someone?
NYC Well, it's 1-888-692-1355.
Okay, great. NYC
No
Well.
ask for help, whether it's emotional or it's for food or anything.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, both of you, so much. That was incredibly helpful.
You be well. Take care.
I will, and thank you so much, and love to everyone, your family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye, ladies. Okay, so that was Barbara Cavallo and Lois Abramchik, and I've spelt it on there, but I'll spell it. You have Barbara's. You can click onto the link there that Leo posted. Thank you so much. Just they're both amazing people that over the years I've done a lot of different projects with them, worked on a lot. I mean, many years, almost the whole time that I've been in New York. Not quite, but worked on just so many. Like they do group things. I can't say enough about these two amazing individuals and how much better you're going to feel. And like Barbara said, if you just want to talk to someone, call that number at NYC Well. Okay, so I think I'm still rolling, right? Everybody just let me know, because as I said, I'm seeing myself in lapsed time. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go, what are we doing for food? Now, I'm not going to be able to see myself doing it, but today, look, I'm someone that loves to cook, and I cook a lot anyway, and I've been cooking a lot anyway, but today I went to the supermarket for just to load up on some stuff because they said this is going to be the hardest week in New York. Like, this is our apex is happening now. We're hitting the top, right? So all my fear just flew in, and I was like, let me go to the supermarket one last time and get what I need to get. And while I was there, I thought, I'm going to do something for myself today, even though money's been super tight. Because, you know, as we were talking about, like, some people are used to going to work every day and getting a paycheck and all that, and some people have had to file for unemployment, and there's those of us that, you know, I work in 4 different places, and a lot of my money that comes in is cash money, right? So, you know, I'm still waiting to get through to unemployment, and I know I will, and it's going to be fine. But in the meantime, I've been really like holding on to my money, right? But today I said, you know what, just get yourself something. It's not the end of the world. And that comes from that self-care. That for me, spending money on myself is very difficult. So I did that today, and I got myself, I love drumsticks. Those are my favorites. So I got myself some drumsticks at the Acme supermarket. I got myself some scalloped potatoes and like a vegetable medley with, there's cauliflower in there, there's squash, carrots, Brussels sprouts. And so this is what I got. I don't know what they use for ingredients because I didn't cook it, but it smells delicious and I'm going to eat it. This is what I did for myself today because I do cook all the time and I am someone that likes to, you know, stretch a buck. And I've always been that person. I come from that kind of a family. So now also, what did I make for a salad here? I love salad, but I haven't been eating very much. And it was like Lois was talking about, I haven't been eating well. I've been eating a lot of junk, and it's all that, like, just trying to tune out, really. I mean, for me, that's what it is like. I just totally tuning out. And so I made myself a salad, and I have a little spinach in there, a little romaine, one of my favorites, which is red cabbage, shredded red cabbage. Then I have my favorite red peppers chopped up nice, and then I put some onion salt on that and a little bit of basil. And I don't know what I'm going to put on there, but this is what I am going to do. Now, one of the things that they've been talking about a lot is citrus. Citrus is super high in vitamin C. It's also very high in alkaline, which right now, for some reason, So I'm going to squeeze this on top of that. Yep, an orange. And then I'm going to add a little olive oil. Just extra virgin olive oil like I like from Italy. Shout out to our Italians. But right now, and I'll get to our dessert in a minute, right now it's very important that there's a few little tricks. Actually, I go back to the alkaline in a minute. Let me just show you dessert. So it is Easter weekend coming up, and Passover is coming up. And I don't celebrate Passover, but a ton of my friends do, and I love all that stuff. I love any holiday, and especially tradition. I'm a huge fan of tradition. So happy Passover to my Jewish friends. God bless you and keep you, especially right now, but always. And happy Easter to my Christian friends, my Catholics. I went to Catholic school, so Easter was huge, you know. And Palm Sunday was last week, and somebody in my family always makes me a cross with palms, and it's beautiful. It's one of those things I love, and so Ziana usually gives me one of those. So Ziana, I love you extra special tonight. But so for Easter, here's our Easter bunnies. There we go. Now my favorite are Easter bunnies with marshmallow, but for some reason today I couldn't find them. Now a very sad thing happened today, because I went to get these because I wanted something for Easter for myself, but what I had for tonight's episode was, I got for myself my favorite dessert, lemon meringue pie. And wouldn't you know, I was so stressed out that I think I paid for the lemon meringue pie and I left it somewhere. I cannot find, it's MIA right now, the lemon meringue pie. I guess maybe that was God's way of saying, you don't need the lemon meringue pie, Maria. I've eaten so much dessert in the last 2 weeks, I can't tell you. I cannot, I'm at that point, I cannot fit into my pants again. You know what happens when that happens. Then I got to go on a diet. Okay, so a couple things that are important that you know. Okay, so tonight I am wearing my, I know you can't see it because I can't see myself, but my U.S. Navy shirt. I am a big fan of the military, all of them, and I wanted a special shout out to Captain Brett Crozier. If you don't know that name, Captain Brett Crozier is the captain on the ship that alerted the authorities that the ship needed to dock because there were a lot of sick soldiers on that ship, and he has had a lot of flack for that. But I personally want to say thank you. Thank you to that captain. And we have a minute. I also want to remind you guys, lemon in tea. Lemon has a lot of alkaline. Also, I'm putting limes in my my water. Okay, so as much vitamin C and alkaline as you can. Change your toothbrush often, because if you are sick, it stays on your toothbrush. Use it, and after a week or so, throw it out. Right now is the time to do all that stuff. We love you. We appreciate you. I want to thank Jim Bell. I want to thank Armed Radio. I want to thank Barbara Cavallo, Lois Abramchik, Kathy Roy-spies, my boss at MPAC. Thank you. God bless all of you. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. Take care of one another. And we'll be back here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook Live, Armed Radio. Thanks, everybody.